Tarp, hello! Hi guys! Hello, hello, hello! I made this screen, but I realized it's kind of pointless, but I made it, so I'm gonna show it off. So I made this screen first. It's just kind of tiny, and it doesn't have room for anything in it, so we have a cosplay! That's right, I forgot I made this! Hi, it has a small tear on one of the flowers, so I'm a little disappointed, but this is something else I was working on, which is why it took a little bit longer. My sister used her Cricut to make this. This probably won't last, I won't lie. I used so much fabric paint on this that it stained it through the other side. I don't know if I can even show it. And it does not feel good to the touch, but you know what? It turned out pretty cute. I was actually pretty happy with it. Originally I was thinking I could wear this to Idea Factory's thing in July, and I was like, it's fine, I'll make it for that. I'm gonna have to remake it if I do that. But yes, hello guys, hello! I'm really excited. Today's stream's gonna be different. I've never done this, and I tried to make chat look cute, but you know what? It might be a little not the right size. Did I click on that? I'm frozen. That sounds about right. That's like my day. Every single time I'm ready to start, I was like, oh no, wait, I need to do one more thing. And so it's been a hot minute. Are we cute yet? It's still sticking out a little bit to the end, but I don't want to make it so small you guys can't read it. I thought it'd be funny to make it look like it was text messages on a phone. Blushes, aw, Tarp's super cute. What the heck? Oh my goodness. So, as you guys may have read, I posted it on Discord. This is actually a free gift I got. So today's stream is actually special. I got it through Keymailer and Idea Factory International. They gave me a copy of Parasite Sweet and Spicy, Cupid Parasite Sweet and Spicy Darling to do a review on. So this is for a review only. So because of that, I'm not actually playing the game today. But I thought to make it a little more interesting, we're going to do a review of Cupid Parasite 1. And then we're going to go into Cupid Parasite, Sweet and Spicy Darling. I only did the first chapter. So there's like a prologue and then chapter 1 for the new game for everybody. And then I may have, just to confirm if I was correct, put one of the guys on fast forward with it in the background of my screen so I couldn't actually see it. So I wouldn't see any spoilers. So I could see the different endings, just to see if the endings make sense. So haha, you can guess who I would do that to. All right, guys. All right, so I'm really excited. I have 11 pages of notes. I've also never thought about doing a review live, so that's another reason why I'm like, this might be a bit strange today. Not Raoul, you are wrong. I did not fast forward through Raoul's story. Huh, I thought that'd be a really easy guess. Also, Prim is going to be so kind, and she's going to make 2 polls. We're going to have one poll for the first half of the stream, which is where we're covering Cupid Parasite, and you can tell us who your favorite Cupid Parasite boy was. And then we're going to have one for part 2. And that's going to be who are you most looking forward to, because you know what? It can change. Also, my sister surprised me with coffee. I feel a very bridal advisory right now. Gil is my favorite. It's clearly Gil. It was Gil. It was so Gil. I appreciate people who appreciate Gil. I don't know if it's his voice. Because when I did the routes, I was like, man. And then I got to Alan and I was like, and Shelby, I was like, I know it's not a popular opinion. It's okay though. You can have your opinion. It's all right. Let's just like I have mine. I feel like I get too passionate and how much I dislike him, and I feel bad about it. All right, so here's our beautiful photo. I made a slideshow. It's not the best slideshow. Please be prepared. I also made this lovely little screen right here. Raul's the best voice actor, but not best boy though. Raul is a really good voice actor. I'm extremely partial to Alan though. I loved Alan's voice, and Shelby. Ken can get it. Me and Tarp here. Really? You think Raul has the best voice out of all the guys, or the best voice actor? That's the question. Best voice or best voice actor? Because those are two different things too. You can be a really good voice actor and this might not be your best voice. Like Ken sounded so different in a different game. All right, I'm gonna let you guys chat for a second. I will not be reading chat consistently, but I'm gonna get through a few paragraphs of what I've written and then I will review chat afterwards. So please forgive me, I'm not doing it like we usually do. So our story focuses on Cupid, the actual Cupid. She's not having a great time in Celestia, and after a fight with her father, Mars, she starts spending time with her aunt Minerva, the goddess of wisdom. Minerva has a room dedicated to all things from the human realm, and she allows Cupid to spend as much time as she wants there with these fantastic things. So because Cupid isn't immune to vanity, she does what any person does when given a cell phone. She Googles herself. She's excited at first. She's seen so many comments talking about how great Cupid is. Then she realizes that they're actually referring to a company known as Cupid Corporation. She's very excited about this. She doesn't go do anything right then. Mars yells at her again, and at this point, she decides she's going to fight back. She's like, you know what, Dad? You're wrong. Humans don't need us. We are not as important to humans as you may think. And to prove her point, she decides to run away to the human world and prove that humans don't need the gods. With the help of Aunt Minerva, which I'm going to give Aunt Minerva so many props in this. If she wasn't around, Cupid never could have ran away. I know she had some nefarious thoughts involved, but like that girl, she's the reason. She spends 6 years in college, graduates, lands a job at Cupid Corporation. After another year of hard work, has the best vital advisor in the company. Her boss, Shelby Snell, calls her into his office with a proposition. Whoa, look at that. What a slide change. Woo. All right, so that proposition is the Parasite 5. If Cupid is given a file folder with five people in it. Hang on, I did this wrong. 5 different guys. If Cupid can find a match for all 5, she'll get the promotion she wants, which is what she wants to do to prove to her dad that humans don't need them anymore. Hang on, we're workshopping this today, right? All right, so we had Gil, we have No Name. I put these all in here for fun. Raul's on this one. We got Rookie, which is the youngest, and I'm still, Rookie. I love Rookie so much. Alan, Melville, it might have been because we just finished the other game. All right. She accepts it. She schedules a meeting with all 5 of the guys. Does not go as planned. Now then, I'm going to skip that part. I explained what all the guys are, but we know what the guys are. So problems keep coming. Gil gets so excited about seeing Lynette, he forgets that she's at work and acts like he's almost on a date with her. And then the very first meeting they have as a group, we decide to see how good she is by getting seduced by Alan. And she reminds Alan, hey, this is not about a one-night stand. We are here to find love. You were not here for this, okay? She feels really anxious at this point. And so she's a little disheartened at this point, right? So at this point, hang on, I'm learning. We're learning together, by the way. This is my first time doing this, so I'm finding my notes and doing the slideshow. All right, she gets asked to come help her boss, Shelby, do an interview with a TV guy. She's not sure why. And then they find out that photos were leaked of her online, listed as Shelby's wife. This doesn't come about any further in this route, but very interesting. And then thankfully, because she was there, they decide, you know what, let's make a TV show about these guys. So we are introduced to Parasite House. This is the only photo I shared from Parasite House. I wanted to keep this as minimal as possible. I'm not going to lie. I could have went way more intense. It actually was more intense. And I was like, let's cut this back. Woohoo! All right, so Parasite House turns into a television show where the boys go on various excursions. For that to work, they first all move into the same roof and have to make room for everyone's collections in the process. For the first day, the boys show off their assets. We have assets, guys. While staying in the house together, they do a weekly show for Parasite House and even go out to test a date on Cupid. Now that one, I had all in here and I was like, you know what? Let's spare you guys. I'm just going to show you abs. At the end of the show, Lynette is on her way to work when she gets a text message from all the guys saying they're leaving. And that's where the routes start to diverge. That's when we get onto our routes. All right, so that's the synopsis of the beginning in a very watered down. I had it so much more intense. It was 3 pages, guys. I brought this down. I want you to know I had to. Same. I brought Bomber Chorizo. You have a Lynette shirt. Yes, I made this. Me and my sister made this together. It's got all 3 colors, but the pink doesn't show up because she's at the bottom. I was actually going to dye my hair, guys. I was going to be even more Lynette today, but I didn't get that far. So that is how the end of the common route ends. And then just as a heads up, the end of the common route is right where our new boy pops up in the story. So if you go from straight the common route to the new story, you're not missing anything, which is kind of nice. Thank you. All right, I'm going to read comments before I go into routes. I'm just going to do a very short overview of routes. A couple of them are way shorter than others because I could summarize them a lot faster than I realized. All right, so Tarp says, Gil's the best boy, Raul is best voice actor, and Kent is a god. Not Shelby. Nay. Just Ken. Ken himself. Oh, goodness. All right. So Prim, if you want to start our first poll, our first poll can be for 30 minutes. I don't think it'll take me 30 minutes to go through this. Maybe 15. It should be Cupid Parasite review, not sweet and spicy. Oh ho, Jay. Nay. We're doing a review of previously on, and then we're going to switch it to sweet and spicy. It's going to be sweet and spicy very soon. So we're going to have our first poll, which you guys can comment on the poll who your favorite is, and hopefully by the end of this, I can answer what the poll results are. All right. Okay, so I try to be a good girl, as a reminder. Who's your favorite main parasite? I try to be a very good girl. I was not. So I try to only use 4 photos from every route, not all 13. I didn't want to be bad. Alan gets 6. All right, so Gil, when his route starts, he had quickly fallen in love with Lynette when they were roommates in college. Lynette's new to Lost York and doesn't know anything about social cues or what's right and wrong. Lynette also has no idea what love is, which causes her to overlook people having crushes on her all through college. It's also important to mention that in this route, there is misconception that plagues the route where Cupid believes that Gil is in love with Clarice. Their other roommates, I cannot remember the events in order to play it. So when they're roommates, I cannot remember between the two because I remember the past and the present separately. They layered this in the chapters. I just put that in there as a warning. I couldn't do that. As I thought about this, I separate the two. Is that a gift or is that a curse? It's not my favorite route. I had to really rewatch a bunch of this route just to remember what happens. So in this route, Gil moves back in with Clarice and Lynette because he gets kicked out of his apartment and ends up on the news because there's a terrible odor in their apartment complex. They're not sure what it was. And while she's meeting with Gil and talking to Gil, she learns that he wants to be a writer for a car magazine. And so she helps push him in the right directions. If you don't push him in the right direction, bad things happen. She starts missing him as he's gone more and more for his new job. She also doesn't want to sound needy or mean or anything like that, so she kind of ignores it. When she finally confesses that she likes him in the middle of the night, Gil wastes no time. That boy was on her. He was on her. So fast. His phone buzzes that night. She answers his phone because she doesn't want to wake him up, and that turns out it's a link to an article saying that Lynette Mirror is a scam artist, ? She freaks out after she sees this, runs away from her own house, ends up with a chicken. This really happens. That her dad sent to retrieve her and ends up back in Celestia the next day. She kind of becomes despondent at this point, and then we switch over to Gil's position, and he is looking for her like everywhere. Cheese. Yeah, cheese. Blue cheese. That's right. First love tastes like blue cheese. I don't like it. Then he ends up running into Clarice at Alan's shop Clarice doesn't even like take a second. She's like, oh yeah, it's because she's up in the sky because she's a god and I'm a succubus and you're an idiot. And if you want to get to her, you're going to have to take like a lot of detours. So he ends up deciding to do the most logical thing ever. He decides to make a car that can fly, powered by the Cupid bow necklace that fell off in the night when they consummated their relationship, and also Alan, because Alan gets sucked into the car. This is real. This is the story. I've explained this story to people. He then goes to Celestia, where he decides to show his devotion. Hang on, that was them sleeping together. I got distracted. To show his devotion to her dad by showing him his lovely collection of pictures of Lynette that he has on his phone in a folder called My Sweet Angel. Lynette's impressed. I was not impressed. Her dad Mars, not. The story's multiple movie scenarios. It's so true. Mars was also not impressed. Turns into a giant man. And then Gil's car transforms into Bubble Pig, which I'm sure we all remember that Transformers movie. And he wins. He does win. After rescuing the girl, he tells his family the truth that he wants in his future. He loves cars. His parents become happy. And then they move their business, their headquarters, from Baltimore to Los York, and Lynette and Gil have their nuptials. And they get married. And they're happy now. Is that what everybody wanted? You tell me. Hang on. I have photos. I think his story had the most happening in it. Like, there was so much. I never would have guessed the ending of that game. If I'm really good at guessing the ending of games, and that one I never would have predicted the ending. So, turns a car into a flying car, puts a soul inside of it, rescues girl using Transformers car. Gil is a fly that I'm trying to kill. Oof. Remember, Tarp's here today. That's Tarp's boy right there. The route went so far. It went so far. All right, let's see. We're on Shelby's notes. Oh, Tarp's crying. All right. So Shelby, dun, dun, dun. Actually, I have my note on here that Shelby feels like a movie to me. So the first thing I wrote in here is this route played out like a movie. It was simple plot at first. Shelby's has been pretending to be married. He was mistaken for married by a reporter once. And so after Cupid finds out, she offers to pretend to be his wife because he needs somebody to stand in, because he has all these business partners who he keeps telling, sorry guys, you can't meet my wife. She's not feeling well. She's sick today. She caught the monsoon, things like that. Like, he's just making up stuff left and right. So the pair move into the house again that they had Parasite 5 happened in, and then start living like a couple. At the same time, I should have put notes on when my thumbnails, my pictures should change. I've learned I'll do this better next time. We're going to do this for Radiant Tell too, guys. The pair even put on a show at one point to sneak and trick the neighbors into thinking that, not the neighbors, but their stalkers into thinking that they're having relations. Cupid Corpse has a contest to submit ideas for the new thing that they can try. Lynette has her ideas stolen. She's accused of selling secrets. Shelby, behind closed doors, comforts her. He doesn't believe that she would do that. Lynette continues to try to help Shelby become a better man. And I feel like together they actually mutually grow in this story. I think they both become a little bit better. The day she's about to tell Shelby her feelings, though, he kicks her out. He says, you know what? It's time to stop. They're forced to work together again because of the special event that Cupid has suggested. And because of that, she ends up at his house. She ends up eating chocolate, which we know she becomes chocolate wasted on. And then she confesses her feelings to Shelby. And we get my actual least favorite CG of the game. And I feel bad about this because I love Shelby, as we know. I love Ken, but this is not my favorite CG. I didn't even put it in it because I didn't love it. So then, after this, the grand conclusion arrives. Shelby's secondhand man, Owen, has been sharing communications with an unknown man, and they have been trying to take down Cupid Corpse. Cupid turns into Cupid, saves Shelby. Shelby never sees that happen, and then he fights Owen on the beach, which we get this lovely photo that feels so far away from what Cupid Parasite is. After that grand conclusion arrives, oh yeah, her dad was the man. Her dad was the man. He was trying to prove her wrong by undermining her and taking out her company and tricking Owen into being a bad guy. It's a lot. It's a lot. So after the grand conclusion, though, Cupid and him get married. They get married and have a lovely life together. This is my favorite dress, by the way. I still hate her dad, but he falls in love with a vacuum cleaner. So you know what? Everyone falls in love in this one. Giving me the envy to watch the playthrough again. You should watch it again. We're gearing up. We're a week away from the game's release, so now's a great time to watch the playthrough again. Oof. I hate him. Plus, I literally woke up to the stupid fly in my room. Aw. Make sure to let us know who your favorite is too in chat. Oh, polls aren't the same way. Actually, she can go on the poll. The poll automatically closes. That's predictions. All right, now here is probably the most intense route of them all. This is Raoul Aconite. Does anybody remember Raoul? Because I do in my dreams. Raoul is the obsessed parasite. He is obsessed with Greek mythology. And the moment he runs into Cupid on the very first day in the common route, he starts talking to her about her necklace that she's wearing. He became the obsessed parasite, choked on an oyster, nearly died, got saved by a goddess. His manager reaches out to Cupid Parasite after the events in the common route and asks if she can give him some coaching to help him work on his love acting. What's the right word? Romantic acting, because he's not very good at it. He doesn't know how to act romantic on stage. The pair start to spend time together. Cupid learns that Raoul is having casual relationships with a bunch of Sillywood actresses. At first she knocks it, but then she decides to try it right away. Handsome man. Honestly, like, I agree. She tells him after this that he shouldn't have any more casual relationships. And he agrees. He does start getting jealous of her talking to other men, but he doesn't know what jealousy is because him, like Cupid, don't actually understand what their feelings are. He eventually gets invited to go on an excavation, and she goes with him. And at this point, he's found out she's Cupid. Why? Because he had a stalker. Because why wouldn't he have a stalker? Because he's an actor. And she has to keep reminding him to calm down. On this interesting roller coaster ride, which is the best way to describe it, Cupid gets injured. She's getting really sick. She's getting lethargic. She might die because when she's in the human realm, she is human. So any injury she sustained, she's going to react to it like a human would. He eventually screams out for help, and Lady Minerva answers that call because she's the bestie. She's a good girl, except when it comes to her man, which, by the way, is Alexander the Great, who Raoul is actually the reincarnation of. So when she gets saved by Lady Minerva very graciously doesn't kill her and instead just sends her to Earth to find a different man because this one's hers. Minerva's a little evil. She has red eyes, which is fun. We found that out in this route. Raoul starts to try and take over the world as Alexander the Great. Cupid has to knock him out of the sky. They start filming this, assuming that it's promotions for Goddess Upon the Camel Part 3, which he's currently filming for. And as a result of this, Lynette makes her theatrical debut in this movie. And to end this story, after she saves Raoul from turning into Alexander the Great, they become actor and actress together, and he confesses he loves her and that they are going to get married. Wow. On the red carpet, no less. Wow. His hair is suddenly longer as Alexander. You know what? I didn't notice that until you said that. That's so true. I don't know if I like his hair longer. Actually, I was about to say I like it longer, but I don't like the face paint. It's a good thought. Do we like him with long hair? All right. Now we're on to our 4th parasite. I don't see her as being a great actress. To be fair, in the game alone, her only acting really had been that role, which was her in IRL. That was just her living her life going like, quit it, and saving his life. I think they also said she started doing modeling too, not acting, because look how pretty she is. All right, so now we're on Cupid Parasite number 4. Do we have? All right, hang on. Let's view our results really quick. So we have our results already for the poll. Alan won at 50% of the votes. Ruki came in 2nd, and Gil came in 3rd. Shelby and Raul not even on the map. And you know what? Jupiter's not on here too. So I'm going to say that the elections was rigged. Although Alan would win in my book too. I'm in love with Alan. I was reminded very quickly. All right. Ruki. I had to use this one. I had no choice. It was against my will. Ruki reaches out to Cupid after leaving Cupid Corpse, telling her to meet him in the park. And now she's testing out yoga clothes with him. It leads to the two spending more time together. Both of them slowly start changing. I find this route to be like the most wholesome of the routes. Like, it just feels like two people becoming friends and then from friends becoming lovers. Like, they both don't know what's happening as they play around. So like, my baby, like, oh my gosh. They spend more time together. Ruki is a male fashion designer, but he had a female collection he wanted to make. Thanks to Cupid, he does make that female fashion collection. And then she comes by day 1, buys the outfit. He ends up giving it to her for free because she stays the whole day and models it with him. He spends a great deal of time thinking something is wrong with him because he doesn't know what falling in love feels like. And he's like, why is this girl who's like a 30 on my radar feel like a 50? And then like, why does she feel like a 60? Why does she feel like a 100? Like, he's not sure what's going on. And my favorite part is these two help a faceless character named Melanie. Look at her right there. She does have a face here, but she doesn't in the game. And Owen, Shelby's assistant in finding love. By the end of the route, he knows that even though Cupid isn't ideally perfect, he thinks she's perfect, and that's what really, really matters. He kidnaps her from a photo shoot, takes her to this place to meet his grandmother and his sister, tells his grandmother to her face, I don't think Aphrodite is as beautiful as this woman right here. BT dubs, Aphrodite is Cupid's mom. So she's like, Mom, when this happens, and then she disappears and she's like, my mom's a magician. And that's how this route goes. Then on his 20th birthday, he confesses his love again by proposing. And he also says he's going to be a much different person this day forward. I think we all know what that means. Right? I hope we see Melanie on the fan disc. Honestly, I want Melanie on the fan disc so bad. Against her will. Yeah, he made... I didn't know Prim had Leah held at gunpoint to add the CG. Wait, which one? Oh, the one with the yoga? Listen, I was like, oh, I gotta put this one in here. I don't know, like that. Like, it was my only way. Clarice is still bestie and girl crush. Honestly, Clarice is bestie and girl crush, and I'm disappointed, actually, that she's not in any of the CGs. If she had popped up in any CG, I would have put her in this. Because I'm just using CGs for my collage. So I was like, where is she? All right. You never did Rookie's normal ending? If there wasn't a CG, I didn't do it. But that's okay. The good... Actually, no, wait. No, if there's not a CG, I didn't do it. Or did I? Did I? You're talking to the person with a memory of goldfish who basically had to replay Cupid Parasite to make this happen, by the way. People being sick in the chat. Please be safe. All right. We're so close. I can also change the music, by the way, guys. I'm just got Cupid Parasite on the background. Be like... I don't think I can put his music on because his music specifically is not... What about this one? Sweet Sorrow. That sounds fun. Love your shirt. Thank you. There was. If there was a CG, I did it. I do anything for a CG, baby. This is only covering the good endings because all the stories pick up at the end of the good endings. So every story, because I played the first chapter, it takes place after the end of these ones, specifically. Every single one. I was wondering if it would change on any of them, but all of them start off after these. Prim, go rewatch the VODs. All right, so Alan, in Alan's route, he wastes 0 seconds letting us know that he actually is a bad boy. Not just any bad boy, he's an incubus specifically, and he feasts on dreams. And this moment, Cupid's like, what does that mean? And he's like, I am being so serious right now, and you actually are asking me a question. And she's like, yeah, what's a dream? Anyways, he decides to show her unintentionally, and she wakes up the next morning going, that's the coolest thing ever. Oh my God, I had a dream last night. And he's like, you are focusing on the wrong part of this conversation. That was not the part I wanted you to take away from that. And she's like, can you do it again? And he's like, what are you talking about? And then she describes the guy she had in her dream, and he's so pissed. He's so pissed. He's like, you can't dream about somebody you don't know. And she's like, well, I did. Cupid, though, wants him to fall in love, and she decides she's got the best plan in the world. She's gonna shoot him with a Cupid arrow because that'll force him to fall in love with someone for 30 days. And so he's in his house, chilling, minding his business, and she breaks in, is like, haha. And then he goes, if you shoot me with that, I'll die. And she's like, oh crap, and grabs it and then stabs herself and falls in love with him instead. Whoopsie. He does his very best at this point to not fall in love with her because she's not actually in love with him. She's just feeling the motions. However, she's very persistent. Our girl is a persistent girl. She will not leave him the hell alone no matter what. And so he eventually gives in. They end up sleeping together. It turns out to be both of their first times. Whoa. He's a fake bad boy. All right, then let's see and see. It all works out, honestly. It's a very swimmy and beautiful story. Nothing bad could ever happen. Oh, wait. He stabs her on the beach. And tells her she was going to die in the next year anyways. And then we learn a little bit more about Alan at this point. She gets reincarnated. Her life is very similar to how it was previously. She goes back to school. She's great at finding people, love interest. Her roommate is a succubus named Claire Reese. It also turns out that Alan has been watching her this whole time. And he's the reason she was reincarnated to begin with. They bump into each other by accident after she gets almost drowned in a pool. And because of that, she sees this man and goes, whoa, wait, I know this guy, and asks for his number. She gives him a call. He does not want to talk to her, but she keeps reaching out to him again and again, and he knows that it's best to stay out of contact. She's at risk of being a god if she stays in contact with him, but he can't help that. And guess what happens? Jupiter finds her because she's officially reawoken as a god. The necklace pops back up on her neck. Alan tries to protect her, but Jupiter is actually a baddie. He's a baddie. Jupiter's a baddie. This guy right here, bad guy. He knocks the shit out of Alan, kidnaps our beautiful girl, carries her back to Celestia, and Alan isn't having it. He finds his way back up there too, and we learn the history. Alan and her were both, in fact, angels. They were a destined pair and were split in two when she was picked to become the next Cupid. Alan was kicked out of heaven for trying to stop them from taking her away. And when he learned that Cupids eventually die, he decides to find her because he wants to give her a normal life like she deserves. He just wants the best for her. He doesn't even care. This man sits through every single other route without nary a care. He just wants her to be happy. He is okay as long as she is happy, and that right there is why he's my favorite man. And the fact that he has the voice of an actual demon is pretty hot. At the end of this story, they dive from Celestia down to Earth. She turns into a little demon with a tiny tail, and they decide that they want to live together. And on the very last minute, Alan proposes because he wants to spend the rest of his life with Lynette forever, which they're demons now. And that means they can live for millions and millions of years. Isn't that exciting? What a beautiful story. Look at this. This is every best couple, right? You have a goth and a bubbly, like, pastel person. Oh yeah, you forgot the bracelet. Yes, there is a bracelet. Alan trying to steal my girl? I don't think so, right? He's very protective. He is such a boy. This is my man. Oh my gosh. But yeah, this one is my favorite route, as you can tell by the fact that I had to put extra photos. I had to put extra photos too because the reincarnation, I really didn't feel like I could transition without an extra picture in there. His bad ending is the only bad ending I actually like. I almost put the picture of Lynette as the succubus in here because I think that's also a very good one. But I think, I don't know, I think for him as a person, this is the best ending for him. He wanted her to be pure. He wanted her to stay unsullied because he feels like he is a terrible person. So. And now for the secret route. I'm going to put a warning here because both games give you a warning. If you are playing Cupid's Parasite, Sweet and Spicy Darling, and you have not finished Cupid Parasite 1, you might want to not watch this next part because this is the secret route. You do not get this route until you've completed all other routes. And that is for our cute little baby, Chi. We're going to date our best friend, right? That's what they tell you to do. They tell you that your best relationships start by dating your best friend. Our best friend is Chi. Now, in this secret ending, it starts off differently than any of the other games. We do not decide to run away from home. We are actually told to go to Earth, to go to school and learn about different love types by Jupiter himself. And that is because Jupiter wants us to become the next Juno. So he wants us to be prepared by learning the different love types because Juno knows about all the different love types. We even end up back at Cupid Corp with a new intern named Peter Flagg after a while, which is pretty interesting. We're at a matchmaking party. Lynette overhears Melanie and Owen, these two guys that, like, I don't know, for me, they feel clandestine to be together. They're talking. We think they have chemistry. We decide, you know what? Let's give them a little nudge in the right direction. They both seem a little shy. They could use a hand. And so we shoot an arrow at them and we hit Chi accidentally because Chi jumps into the way. And then Chi turns into a real boy? Wait, what? Oh my god, I didn't see that coming. When did that happen? Peter Flagg is Chi. Now, Peter opens his eyes and he says, I love you. We still think that he is just a fantastical beast, but for some reason he has a human form. We assume that because he's Jupiter's pet, that must be why. Like, Jupiter is so strong, why wouldn't his pet turn into a person? They have a little bit of a torrid love affair. Turns out that Zeus is alive. This one is a bit wild, right? There's a long part in this story where they're just falling in love for each other. But at the end, Zeus comes back. So Jupiter and Zeus, two different people, it turns out. Zeus is this beautiful androgynous person right here, wants to take over the world. He wants to end all of humanity. He kidnaps Cupid, and Zeus plans to devour her by taking all his clothes off. This is in the story. I didn't make that part up. And then, using the power of the Parasite 5, Parasite 6 when you include Jupiter, that displays all 6 different love types in a Captain Planet meets Sailor Moon kind of power of a love ending, they take out Zeus before he can turn the human realm into his playthings. Zeus was hot. Zeus was hot. Like, I think I said smash the moment Zeus popped up on the screen. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. After saving the world, the pair retire back to Celestia together. They do get married and become husband and wife, while they continue to look down on the human realm and check in on their friends from time to time. These two are just loving life and having a great time together. They have a very sweet relationship because Jupiter is just kind of a bit on the shy side, but he gives off this very airy, I'm a strong, scary man vibe. And I think they played it off really well for him too in his route. He also just has a very good voice actor too. Just makes it very easy to fall in love with this guy. I want Zeus too. I would let Zeus devour me. Oh my goodness. All right, so I get to change 2 things. Watch this. Boom! It's a subtle change. Did we notice it? Did we see it? Did it stand out? We're here now. Yay! Okay. I mentioned this a second ago. I'm going to mention it again. All right. So at the beginning of this game, I decided to see, because all the routes had different endings, right? They had a few different endings. I'm not going to play the entire game. I don't want to play the entire game before it comes out because I want to enjoy that with you guys and play it with you guys. I'm still picking up my copy on the 28th when it releases. I'll have my physical copy. I'll do my little box opening when it happens. But I wanted to get an idea of the game. So there's a new interface. It fits really well with the old one. It has a lot of desserts. There's a lot of sweet stuff in it. So instead of kind of like that city board billboard vibe like previous, it's definitely leaning into the sweet and spicy side. That matches its namesake. There's more of a 60s restaurant vibe too from time to time. It does show a donut shop. It's pretty cute. The music has a similar taste to it as this game, the previous Cupid game. So it matches really well. The guys all get their own song. Fun fact, I actually like Gil's song the best so far from their little introduction, which is in English. Their songs are in English. So if you want to get distracted by English music, listen to that. I wrote a note in here about backgrounds and sprites. There are a ton of new areas they're exploring. A lot of them are going on honeymoons and vacations or visiting family for the first time. So we're getting a lot of different backdrops that we didn't have in the previous game. And on top of that, we have a whole new love interest. I didn't see any additional sprites outside of that for the first chapter, which is all I did for this little like walkthrough to see what it was going to be like. And then routes. So Gil, Shelby, Rawl, Rookie, and Jupiter have 3 outcomes you can get, which are sweet, spicy, and sweet and spicy. Sweet and spicy being what I feel like is the true ending because it's the one that gets you end credits when you get that one. Can you guess which character I did that for? We had a couple people guess right earlier. There was one person who I put on in the background, like off to the side so I could just see when it had a choice pop up because I wanted to test my theory. So it's pretty easy to get the endings. It's going to be sweet or spicy. I struggled to guess what was going to be sweet and spicy when I did that, actually, because some of them are some simple questions like, I don't know, do you want a cherry flavored donut or do you want like a mascarpone donut? Which one's sweet in that situation? Which one's spicy? Like, Alan has 5 different endings, by the way. He's very interesting. He's the only one that has that many different endings. So I'm curious what that means. And then as far as our new boy, whose name I still don't have memorized yet, he's got a regular route. So he doesn't have sweet and spicy as an option. He just simply has, does he like that option? Does he not like that option? Just like we did in the previous route. He has, I believe, 3 different endings. He has the good, the bad, and then the whatever ending, like all the other guys did in the previous game too. So that's going to be pretty fun. All the boys have about the same amount of pictures. I will note that I think... no, I've already forgotten. One of them had 10 pictures. I think it was Shelby. Haha. We're going to do this in the same order we did the previous one, guys. So Gil's route starts after the wedding and on their honeymoon. And I want to stay positive, but those who watched me stream the first Cupid Parasite and those in chat right now will know that Gil's not my favorite route. The music playing during the start is a jam. It was a jam. I really did like that. I was like, ooh, this is nice. The honeymoon phase is real, and the two have their arms all over each other. They're enjoying their hotel room. The route starts with a vague recap of the previous game, and we're on a plane heading to Baltimore to visit Gil's family and friends that couldn't go to the wedding. Gil's excited, as always, when he's looking at Lynette and remembering he's married to such a babe, and even shows us his phone again so that we can see that he has a ton of pictures of Lynette again, and it has like doubled in size in the last 6 months. After touching down, Gil sweeps our girl to his home to start showing her about 100 dresses without us even having any idea why we're doing it. Turns out he wants to have a second wedding in Baltimore with his family and friends that couldn't come, but he didn't tell us. And we're just here now with 100 dresses. How did he pull her? Literally the very first question is basically like, what's your favorite dress? Like, which one do you want to wear? And so she picks her favorite dress. And then it kind of just cuts off from there. So we agree to stay and be part of this wedding that we had no idea. There's room for this route to take an unusual spin, being that it's in an area of the game that we haven't been to. So we don't know anybody we're going to be running into in this route if they stay in Baltimore. I don't know if they're going to stay in Baltimore the whole time. If they do, though, we're going to see new characters. The two are disgustingly sweet and lovey-dovey, which bodes well for Gil, but leaves me wondering what rocks they could hit while steering their ship. Like, there's still potential for them to have some bumps along the road. It could just stay completely just calm and neutral the whole time, but we're going to see as it plays. As a reminder, we did end up with a Transformer in the previous game, so, you know, anything could happen. We have a new poll up right now, guys. Who are you looking forward to in the sweet and spicy fan disc? It could be Owen. We get lucky to get picked as a love interest. Oh, wait. You know what? I would have dated Owen. I'm going to be very clear with you. I thought Owen was cute, and I assumed that was going to be an option at a glance on the first game. This picture does not show up in the part I played, but this was there and I thought it was cute. We're gonna see how it goes. It looks like rookie and then character not listed was the winner. How many options were on there? We had Gil, 0 votes for Gil. Really? Shelby, 0. Raul, 0. So that means we're either excited about the new character or we're excited about Jupiter. Jupiter is still one of my faves. Aisha, look, that's so foreboding, just like Gil. All right, so now we are on to Shelby, which, oh my God. Whew, I missed Shelby. I missed this man. I think it was like 3 lines in and he just breathed into the microphone. It's impossible to explain how much I appreciate just listening to this man breathe. I was grinning. I was grinning so much when he showed up. Oof. All right, so after getting married, the pair started to fall into a routine. Both of them are taking this up. She is now his secretary, and they've actually been married for a couple weeks now in the game. she's always taking care of him. She'll always mention things like, hey, by the way, you've been kind of eating like trash for the last 5 days. Do you mind like eating real food today? And he'll be like, you got it, babe. She mentions that he hasn't taken a break in 9 days. And so he says, hey, you know what? Why don't we go on our honeymoon? Oh, wait, hang on, somebody. I had it split into polls into 2 parts because no space for all guys. Oh, okay. I'm excited for the new character. Dude, I'm so excited for him. He looks adorable. So Shelby's like, hey, we haven't gone on our honeymoon. You want to go on a honeymoon? And she's like, hell yeah. The couple gets aboard a ferry headed to, and I'm going to say this wrong, and that's how you know. I only heard them say it like twice. De Amor Paradis by Omar Holdings. The place is a resort-style island which recently was built off the coast of Lost York. Once they arrive, Shelby is enamored by his wife and just like how cute she is. He is like blushing up a storm. She says, look at this, isn't this cute? And he's like, I can't even look you in the eyes right now. You are so cute. Lynette has this man just wrapped around her finger and she doesn't seem to even realize it when they're there. They tour around the island and visit a casino, which I actually was surprised. This picture was that part. This is them touring around the island. The game's called Sweet and Spicy. Just a reminder. I just want to remind you that. They tour around the island and they end up going to their hotel for the night. Shelby is really quick in this route. He's instantly like, I can't stop thinking about this woman right now. And she goes and takes a shower and he's like, damn. The moment she gets back, he is on her. And I'm like, whoa. I was not prepared for that in the first chapter, but oh my goodness. My first impression is a little bit nefarious. The island has a casino. The owner we've never seen before. It's a name we've never seen before. He got an invitation to this place as well, so there could be something under the surface there. Shelby doesn't feel like himself when he's there either. Like he literally gets there and automatically he's like obsessed with her. And he even says it himself. He feels a little weird about how like obsessed he's become with Lynette the moment they touch down. So there could be something going on under the surface of this island. It was giving me Scooby-Doo Mystery Island kind of vibes. But the entire part I played, I was just grinning the whole time. Like he's saying such sweet lovey-dovey things. It also shows flashbacks from their point of view as opposed to Lynette's point of view. So you're getting like a flashback of previously on Cupid Parasite, but from what Shelby felt instead of what Lynette felt, which I think was a very nice feature that they put into this game because they could have made it more simple and not have bothered with that part. They could have just not from her point of view. We already had all that. Also excited for the new characters. We got new characters. I read it again. Sorry, guys. All right, we have Raoul's. Now, Raoul's I thought was very, very, very interesting. His route instantly starts where the previous route ended. Quite literally, like 30 minutes later, his manager calls him and is like, you are not getting married. What is wrong with you? You cannot announce that you're getting married on the red carpet at a premiere. You are going to lose investors. We are not going to have anybody who wants to sponsor you. We are going to tell them that that was for publicity and you are going to not get married. Do you understand me? And he's like, okay, sorry. So he's instantly very upset because he really wants to marry Lynette. He's like so in love with Lynette and he is like Labrador boyfriend material. Like he is so sweet and adorable this entire time. In his route, he's just the cutest thing ever. So he's trying to figure out what he can do in order to still marry Lynette fast because he doesn't want to wait. He doesn't want to wait until he's an older man. He wants to marry her today. He wanted to marry her next week and now he can't. So he decides, what if, hear me out. What if I try to become a producer? What if I produced a movie instead of starring in a movie? Because producers don't have to wait to get married. They can get married whenever they want. However, he also wrote the script. And I think we all know that like Raoul is a very passionate man. Doesn't go over well. It bombs. He actually gets like I can't remember the right word, but it's like the opposite of a good award. It's like it starts with an R. He gets one of those. They start pumping him onto every promotional ad they can to try and like alleviate people even thinking about this movie that he made. Lynette ends up hearing a couple of girls talking about how they're glad he's actually not getting married, and she feels a little bit like deterred by that. She's like, man, am I not the right person for him? They try to think of something to do and end up researching fortune telling for some reason and learn about a new donut shop that has a special staff member that can predict the future and decides to visit the next day. And that's how the end of that chapter is. So they're trying to figure out what they can do because Raoul wants to get married so badly. And honestly, I just love that. I love that there's this guy who's just super, super sweet, super, super playful. And he's just like, I want to marry you. And I don't want you to ever think I'm thinking about anybody else but you. And yet with Gil, I don't feel that way. So Raoul is cute. He was cute in the last game, even in this route. Even if his route jumped the tracks, I think this one has potential to be one of the cutest routes with just how earnest Raoul is behaving in the start of the story. I'm curious to see if the pair try new jobs because they were talking about switching jobs a little bit. So maybe that's a plot point in their route. It could be. All right, let's see. The new game's name is hard to spell. The new guy's name, hang on, let me just scroll because Marinus, Levin, see, that's how good I am at his name. The great news is he sounds adorable. Oh, Blue says she's looking forward to Alan's route, but she's anxious based on what she's heard. That makes me nervous. His route has the most endings, which could be very nefarious. We'll get to talking about him here very soon, actually, because right now we're on Rookie, and then right after that we'll be talking about Alan. So we're on Rookie's route. Does this? Okay, I don't know why those are backwards, but you know what? That's how they posted them. Rookie! Actually, I'm going to go to this CG first, because this is in the story. I just uploaded the pictures based on how they were posted in the original thing they shared. Rookie and Lynette go all the way from Lost York to Japan. They are there to meet Rookie's parents to get their blessing for their wedding. Rookie is extremely nervous the whole time. His parents are running late. He's basically crawling the walls as Lynette's just sitting beside him. And he's like, they always do this. They're always like this. And the moment they burst into the room, his mom is like, oh my God, it's my bouncing baby boy. Like she's like all over him, affectionate, hugging. Lynette's a little like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting this. I thought they were going to be so proper. She's even told by his mom, like, you don't have to act so formal, because she's trying really hard to sit up straight and be very, very official about it. At that point, he starts to struggle for a moment because he wants his parents' approval, but he wants to do it in the old-fashioned way. But he can't because his parents are just like, all right, let's order food. Let's go. Let's do these things. They're very different from his grandmother and sister. So then his mother eventually asks where they're planning on having their wedding and what kind of wedding they're planning on having. And Lynette realizes they haven't had any conversations about this. So she struggles for an answer. She looks at Rookie. Rookie doesn't have an answer. And she just assumes they'll talk about it later when they're alone. They spend the day sightseeing together, visiting a dog cafe with some super cute puppies. Back at their hotel room while snuggling, Rookie mentions that he'd like to meet Lynette's parents. And she freezes. Because her parents are gods. Because her parents aren't like, you can't just go there. In the last game, Rookie's grandmother had even found Lynette's mother and brought her to the restaurant. The restaurant that Rookie took Lynette to confess his love for. And then she transformed into her godly self right there in the restaurant. So Lynette lied and said she was a magician. So Rookie's like, she's a magician, right? And she's like, oh my God. Lynette's now worries that if she introduces him to her parents, what's going to happen? And because of that, her voice kind of falters when she's a little like, I'm not sure about it. Rookie takes it as she's not sure about Rookie. So Rookie gets a little nervous. He's like, man, you know what? He starts thinking, maybe I'm not performing very well. Maybe I'm not a good performer. And that's where this CG pops up, because he's like, you know what? Let me show her how good of a performer I can be right now. And maybe that'll help her become more confident with me. And honestly, he's just a little bean. Rookie's route looks like it's going to be focusing on the family dynamics while planning his wedding. I hope it ends at their wedding. From the sounds of it, it's going to be far different from the other ones. I'm really hoping it is a traditional Japanese wedding as opposed to a Western one. Rookie still has his sweet personality that I look forward to seeing more during his route. Honestly, he's just a gem. And I'm really excited to see more of Rookie again. I missed him. I missed him without even realizing it. Woohoo. We have some big Alan fans. Hang on, I have just the sniffles today. Well, guess what? We have Alan. Is that how the voting went with Alan? Alan is the best. So I'm extremely biased. Do I love Alan? I love Alan. All right. I'm trying to remember what CG was in his route. Hang on. I don't know if this was the CG in his route or not. This one. This is the first CG in the route. Okay, so in Alan's route, it starts with him voicing over a prologue. I missed his voice. I started grinning as he continued talking. I'm gonna be real. Alan has my heart. I even thought if Gil was saying this, I'd be cringing, not grinning. I'd be so cringed. I was trying to go fast as I played through these just to... Alan won the whole poll. Both are my favorite character from the previous game and the one I'm looking forward to. Alan was a clean swipe. Nice. Well, guess what? Here he is again. Like, Alan, this is my man. I was trying to fast forward through their stories without, like, listening too much because I want to enjoy that with you guys. And I was pausing because, like, Alan's voice gets me every time. Oh, he's called us his darling. Like, I love him so much. Okay. Anyways, where was I? All right, this lovely chapter starts with a pair on their wedding day. They decide to have a solo wedding. It's just the two of them. No one else is there. They're exchanging their vows, being blissful together. This is already my favorite CG. He took his earrings out for their wedding day. Like, aw, he decided not to be so much of a rebel for the wedding. Oh, goodness. He's admiring Lynette, wondering if she's on the right path. So, like, this is just the sweetest little moment. Like, it is just gorgeous. I loved it so much. This is my favorite moment in this so far. I want to make this my life. All right. So the following day, they decide to go shopping just to get some stuff. Now that they're newlyweds, they want to get some new plates, new dishes, new silverware, some spoons, better wood. They go around Lost York. And then again, we have like Alan's perspective as he's thinking about things. And he really hates himself. Like, he hates himself, and it still shows in this route because he has a moment where he just feels like he's ruined her life because he should have never been with her. Which is why I feel like maybe there is some foreboding in their route because they have 5 endings. Everyone else just had sweet, spicy, sweet and spicy. He's got 2 more. What are those other 2, my guy? What are those 2 other options? What are those? Why are they there? I'm worried. I'm worried about my boy. He other so worries because as a demon, she still sleeps, she still eats, but he doesn't. He doesn't need those things anymore. And he's worried that as she gets older and she's a demon for longer, her body's going to change more. And maybe he's going to see her take on those characteristics and become more like him. And he's so scared of that for her because he wants her to enjoy life as a human. That's all he ever wanted. He's like, should I not have fallen with this woman? Whew. It's a lot to think of. That's just one part of this chapter. They head to a nearby donut shop, and Alan asks Lynette where they'd like to go for their honeymoon. The pair decides to together in the sweetest way. I'm an Alan girl now, by the way. If it wasn't apparent before, I am an Alan girl. This guy said something to the effects of, I wonder what face you'd make if I take you to a place like this. And I like, what is that? What does that even mean? You were just talking about a restaurant. What kind of face would I make? Like, it's not going to be a lewd face. It's just going to be a happy face. And that's so cute, but it sounds inappropriate. I do have fears that they might try and take my sweetie pie honey bunch from me. Just from the feels. Like, he still sees himself as trash, the real world, and Lynette as tainted by him. Our sweet Cupid is very much in love. She loves him for who he is. She loves who they are together. And I'm worried. I'm worried for him and I'm worried for them. So we're going to see once we play their route. I do plan on playing in the same way we did before. So now we have Jupiter. Now Jupiter's first chapter was the shortest one, by the way. So I don't have a lot of notes on his. It was extremely short. Cupid becomes Juno. And at the start of Juno's route, and there's a CG that wasn't in the teaser pictures. I don't have it here because it's not in these. She's beautiful. And he's not wearing a lot. So you know what? It's a really good CG. She takes on her role as Juno. We're greeted shortly after by a very humorous greeting done by Zeus and Jupiter. It's just like a picture Demon Slayer at the end where they're like, hi, like that. Like, it's just a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. Jupiter's literally having a nightmare. He wakes up, he's screaming, he's having a flashback about what has happened. Once the flashback ends, Lynette shows him affection. He turns into Chi, and they snuggle in bed for a while. It's been a year since Lynette has taken over as Jupiter. They're talking a little bit, and Jupiter seems to want to be able to protect his love more than she protects him, because right now he feels like she does more of the protection than he does. And honestly, that's super cute, and I love it. These are the two CGs. That's terrifying. It says I have 2 more pictures in here. Do I? Oh. I forgot about our new route, guys. I've already forgot about him. I was like, how do I have 2 more pictures? I want this man, give him to me. Honestly, this guy's got arms for days. That CG, I'm surprised it wasn't one of the CGs in this picture setup, because like he's himself in his Jupiter form, and he's just standing there, and he's gorgeous. I love it. My slideshow, I'm like, I have 2 more pictures. That's so weird. All right, so are we ready, guys? Here is our new route. This is our new boy. He is not from any of the previous game. He doesn't show up. He doesn't make an appearance. He's not a cameo. He's not a previous love interest. He's not a friend of a friend. They don't even hint at this guy in the previous game. He is brand new for Sweet and Spicy Darling. His name is Marinese Levin, or Levin. They said it 3 times. And I'm gonna not lie to you guys. I need to hear it about 20 before I actually can try to say it right. He's so cute. He is so cute. Marinus, like, look at this boy. Okay, Cupid's heartbroken in the start of the story, because this story picks up right after the end of Cupid Parasite 1, where all the guys have left Cupid Corpse, and so she no longer has the opportunity for her promotion, because that was how she was going to get promoted. She's bummed out. The girls at the office are like, dude, you know what? I have an idea. Let's go see a fortune teller. He'll tell you if you're going to get that promotion. And she's like, no, thank you. But I'll go anyways. So they end up at this tower, and it's a gorgeous tower. When they're there, they're like, yeah, you just got to go up this tower, and if you find him, you find him. And if you don't, you don't. And she's like, excuse me? They're like, yeah, that's part of the thing. If you don't find him, you don't get your fortune read. So she starts wandering around. The stairs are like a maze. She's getting lost. She finally goes, I'm just going to go home. She turns around, and who does she bump into but this cutie pie, this sweet little bean with the biggest sleeves of anyone I've ever met. Levin greets her, tells her she's a fortune teller, asks if she'd like her fortune read. She says, yeah, sure, I'd like my fortune. He's like, you don't seem like you're here for love. And she said, no, I'm here for work. And he's like, great, let me. And then he pulls a donut out of his sleeve and holds it to his eyeball. And she's perplexed, to say the least. And he stares at her for quite a while before he asks, are you not a human? And she's like, I'm sorry, what? Not what? And then she runs. She runs away. She's gone. She's like 2 seconds later, she's in a different time, like a zip code. She's gone. She drops her business card as she leaves, and he follows the address the next day, joins Cupid Corpse, and asks for her as his advisor. As they're sitting and chatting, he's like, I just want to get to know you better. I just want to know more about you. And everyone's like, you can't date her. She's an advisor. And he's all like, I don't want to date her. I just don't want to spend the rest of my life with her. I just want to be with her forever. And they're like, that's dating. He's like, is it? Is that dating? And they're like, listen, if you try to hit on her, you're going to have to get out. You can't stay. He's like, all right, but if I do the activities here, I can stay. And they're like, yeah. He pulled the donut out of his sleeve. He did it twice. So then he decides to join us for Cupid's little mixer. However, there's a problem, right? There's a problem the moment he gets there. The day he goes to his first matchmaking party, the only thing he does is reject every single person because he says they're not destined to meet. He's like, I'm not destined to meet that person. I don't see us having any of the same things. We are not, our lines do not cross. I can't talk to them. And she's like, okay, I just lost the Parasite 5. I need this guy to talk to someone. So she's like, go over there and talk to that group of people. And he sits down and passes out. And that's the end of the chapter, guys. That's how the first chapter ends. He just falls over. He's like, whoop, gone. He has a lot of the same traits that we're used to when it comes to a parasite. He's stubborn, he's strange, he's cute, mysterious, but a little bit obsessed with things. He's a new love interest, and I see things playing out way differently than the others, so I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm curious if she falls for him and then he can finally see her fates like he can with everybody else. I'm not sure how it's gonna go. He has like 3 endings and then like a one-off ending as well, just like the guys did too. So he passed out, dude. That's how his chapter ends. I would love to tell you more about him. His chapter ended with him passing out. Yeah, he just went whoop. Wasn't even implied it might happen. He just falls over. And he just pulls donuts out of his sleeves. He did it 3 times, I think, in the game. The chapter I was on. So he's a cutie. He's a cutie for sure. I'm excited to see how he goes. But yeah. Those are all the routes for the first chapter, so you guys know what's happening. It looks like it's just going to be kind of a cute little story for everybody. All the guys, maybe not Alan. I'm a little worried about Alan. But it just feels like a simple story. There's not even good bad. It's sweet, spicy, and sweet and spicy. And sweet and spicy is the balance. Time to buy him a lot of donuts. Like, the question is, does it always have to be the turquoise donuts? Because like that's the only donut I see him with. They even have the picture, like he has a sprite animation of him going like this, holding the donut to his eyeball. Like, it's so cute. I love him already. He also has like puppy dog energy. He gives off very I'm new to this, what do I do vibes like all the time. I also have no clue how old he is, but he does get the nickname in the chapter as the Destiny Parasite because that's everything he says, like, no. The donut industry fears him. I would argue that they don't. I would say they love him. I would say this is a man worthy of love because he will eat the donuts. He'll eat them all. He makes me want donuts. In fact, I had 2, I think, yesterday. Like, he makes me want more. Oh my goodness. But yes, that was the whole slideshow I made. Isn't it beautiful? That was my review. I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be super cute. I don't know exactly where they're going to all go. Like, Rookie seems pretty almost in a straight line. I think it's going to lead to their wedding day, which I'm excited about because I think it's going to be a cute little wedding. Gil's, I feel like it happens all in his hometown, and I'm really worried. It's so good. Great job. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for showing up to my review stream. I've never done one of these. I'll do better on the next one. I swear I need to add notes on my notes. But hey, you know what? It looks like Alan's going to be the winner of the game. The good news, too, if you guys play it, you don't have to play it in any order. You can play any order you want. And for Jupiter's, you can start that one first. If Jupiter was your favorite and you don't want to wait to play Jupiter, you can play Jupiter right away. It just asks if you've played his route in the first game when you start it. So that was good. I was afraid I was going to have to fast forward through something maybe just to get to some parts. You don't have to play through all of their scenarios before you can even play the new guy. You can play his at any point too. So there's no waiting. You can play in whatever order you like. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. Hee 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 hee. Anybody have any of their final thoughts? What are you guys looking forward to? I don't want spoilers, but what do you look at this? See, look at this one. Doesn't this look great? I am hosting a meeting. You know what I think about it? It would have been funnier if I'd put like your guys' like little avatars from Discord down here, and then you could just pop up like you're in the seats or something. That'd been funny. I had more visions, and I Alrighty, so that was all of my notes I have so far. I'm really looking forward to playing it, so it's gonna be fun. I probably can use this while I'm playing them too. I can maybe even turn the review screen into the game screen, but then it'll make the game a lot smaller. You'd love that. This could be my chat during all of the Cupid ones, and I'll just have you guys here. Hi, you're here for a Cupid Corporation meeting. You guys need to learn how to be better. I am your love advisor, Leah, here to teach you what you need to do. Step 1, drop things in front of people and then bend down and pick them up. Step 1. Step 2, always ask, I'm not sure how to do this. Can you show me? And even if you know how to do it, just to give an idea, just so you can see if they know the answer, because that can also help you know if you're interested in pursuing that further. Bend and snap. Great job, Blue. Blue's already learned. I'm looking forward to everything except for Gil. I will say, because there's no way for me to avoid it, I was using his route to fast forward. His route goes about what I was expecting, just from the things I accidentally saw in the options, because I had to make options to keep going. I didn't do all 3 after I verified that sweet and spicy was an option. I was like, I'm good. But yes, we are going to have seminars, guys, and I am so looking forward to it. I will be streaming an actual normal stream here about 2 o'clock, so in about 30 minutes, I'll be back to play Radiant Tail, and I'll change my top. I just want you to know I found this shirt, and I thought it was so perfect, because I couldn't find a collared shirt last year when I was going to play Cupid Parasite. I was literally looking for this shirt last year, and I found it now. So I was going to do this last year during my Cupid stream. To be clear, I bought the game last year. I've been looking since last year for this shirt. Like more Gil for me and Tarp. That's good. How long did this layout take you? Honestly, not even 10 minutes. I just took a screenshot from my game and cut out the picture on the screen, and then I took one of the scenes where she pops up her phone and I blacked out the phone. Proud of you. Thank you, Blue. So yeah, this didn't take me all that long to make. The other one took me longer to make only because I kept changing it, because that screen is like tilted. So instead of being like square, it's like tilted forward a little bit. So it was cutting off the corner, so I had to change it. But this one didn't take me too long. The other one took me longer, but cutting out the phone took a little time, but not too long. I'm a little sad it doesn't fit perfectly with the chat, but you know what? It's still funny. I'll do the phone sideways next time. I'll flip it. It'll be on its side. I could probably keep that there for when we actually do Cupid Parasite stream. Hi, Dwayne. Excellent. But I'm going to leave it here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching me. I will be back soon. And then we'll be starting this game next week. I refilled this just for this. So thank you guys for joining me. I will see you guys in about 30 minutes. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye for now. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to check me out on Twitch. And then let's see if there's anybody on right now really quick.